Well, what I know is that, because I didn't get that at all, what I know is that we're going from a patriarch society to a matriarch society. We're going back to the feminine, the goddess is returning. And the patriarch was about competing and comparing, outside validation, which is what you're experiencing, a sense of change in yourself. Because everybody's changing. I mean, it's happening. It's the energy. It's the flow.
So strong.
And then you don't have to do the work anymore. Like, we had to do a lot of work to the place of clarity that
you just have to step out of the way.
Yeah, because it's all there. All right, but that was very interesting.
Yeah.
The way that was put forth. I think that was very interesting.
And and another thing he said, because somebody asked him, it was the best question I've ever heard anybody ever ask in a spiritual session. It was what is the yogic practice of courtship? That's what he asked. And because he was having an experience with a woman where he had this woman he really liked, but they lived in different towns, and basically she would have to move here because he couldn't move for certain reasons. And so he basically had this whole kind of thing where he realized that he had to keep up this unconditional loving energy, but he felt that he had trouble at certain times and stuff like this. So he basically asked for some clarification and advice. And what he came back with was, he was saying that as you sit there on the phone especially, that you need to love them unconditionally in that puppy dog way, that you are always going to be there for them. It's always going to be like that. Because the thing is, once the female energy realizes that the masculine energy is stagnant and it's not going to, get all worked up with her doing the stuff, so that way she feels relaxed, she feels trust in the fact that the masculine is unchanged by the feminine, and that the feminine could therefore feels freedom to do whatever they want, and that they feel a severe trust in the masculine energy. Because if you don't have that, then she doesn't feel that trust in the same way, because, well, I can't say certain things because, he's not going to be okay with me not being here. He's not going to be okay with certain things, and I don't want to get him upset and certain like this. And that's where you start to...
Well, there's more integrity and more honesty in the relationship, and you're not thinking about what you should say in order to get this reaction. You're just being honest because you don't have that fear. That's what I'm hearing.
Yes.
That's how I'm hearing. How are you going to apply this now in your life? What's that going to look like in your life?
I just find it very useful to have different words to explain the same things, like that whole thing I was talking about earlier with the expectations. Mm-hmm. Is that, that was just another way to basically say I shouldn't have expectations. But the way that I had that logic stream go through my head completely just drug up all these other things and just threw them away. So it was like, I don't know if it was like the 100th time saying it or whatever, but
yeah,
it was just,
I don't know,
it was enough.
Just all of a sudden you just get it. Yeah. All right, that's great.
Yeah, living in the moment right now is just, it's like I feel supercharged, like how I used to be on it, after some really great experience 6 months ago. That's how I feel normally now. Mm-hmm. And when I feel supercharged, I feel like I'm bursting out of my body. It's...
I was describing my life the other day to myself, kind of, and saying it sounded like I was reciting books on my shelf, because I'm living now all of these, living in the moment isn't a practice or trying to do it. I'm living in the moment, being here. I don't worry about what I have to do tomorrow. I don't think about what I did yesterday as whether I did it right or wrong. And I'm here. And the future is very obvious to me, and I'm, having a relationship with my future, which is, what I talk about. We have to have a good relationship with our future. Well, I am having a good relationship with my future. So we're all kind of, again, in agreement and getting confirmation over and over again. So now I want to take it to another level, and you're young, and the new leaders, our future leaders, and coming from that much clarity and understanding, and the resources that you have in being able to share your message. What is your message of how we can make some dramatic change so that it doesn't have to be struggle and suffering, and all of that good doesn't have to come out of necessity, but comes out of choice?
Well, the one thing that's coming to me right now is basically saying that, I mean, if ever you feel pain or you feel anything, it's coming from your ego, and all you need to do is to avoid that. Anything that's unpleasant that just means that you're thinking from the wrong perspective or the wrong point of view, or you're thinking about the wrong thing. So every time you think something, it is qualified with your emotions. And so that you can just think about it that, anytime you just have a measuring device and you go through and you measure stuff. I mean, that's exactly what your emotions are, is telling you closer or where you're supposed to be. Because if you're on the right track, you're feeling good. And I know recently I've been just feeling, just walking on the clouds. And
right, so how do you teach somebody how to choose to be happy? Because it's all one has to do is say, I choose to be happy, right in the middle of that dissonance.
The first thing that you have to do is when you feel something bad come up, like, oh, my annoying little brother, you say, first of all, in your head, not to your brother, but thank you, I appreciate this information. I now know what I don't like. And then right there, you've just made your notch in the emotional spectrum. And then from there, mark kind of where that emotion is, kind of feel where it is. And then from there, you think about the next thought. Does it make you feel better or worse? And the thing that you really need to feel is not trying to get a gradation of emotions, which you can look up. Abraham Hicks talks about real well. Just find the relief. Because the energies are so